Hello again. In today's video, I'm going to be walking from Great Yarmouth to Burgh Castle along Angles Way, which is the footpath beside Breydon Water. It's a walk I've wanted to do and film for a long time, and I'm sure you do the same. You have ideas of things you want to do and you say, I'll do that sometime. Well, that day has finally arrived. So we're going to be walking along Angles Way. So I thought, if I walk half the way and return back to my car, then tomorrow I can go and do the other half of the walk, starting in Burgh Castle. I filmed this the day before Storm Eowyn arrived, if that's pronounced correctly. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right or not, but Friday anyway. At this point, it's still quite calm. No sign as yet of what is about to arrive. Whilst doing this walk, I don't see a single boat, but I do see lots of wonderful wildlife that are wintering here. So I'll be showing you those as well. To complete the whole walk from Great Yarmouth to Burgh Castle and back again is going to be around 8.5 miles. As I walk along here, the wind does start to pick up, so it is very noisy. So I've turned the sound down so that you don't have to put up with the noise of the wind, or I'll take the sound out completely. As you can see, the tide is going out, and basically it's just mud flats as far as you can see. Lovely clouds. While I'm here, I'm not just filming for this video, I'm also doing a members video where I speak directly to camera, as I do in all of those ones. And I'm also filming for other platforms, but in a different orientation. So, I'm quite busy. And then suddenly I heard somebody say, "Excuse me." And it was the man on the bike up there, look. I said, "Oh, sorry." I said, "I was so busy filming, I didn't realise there was anybody else about." Here for winter are thousands of golden plover. Something's just spooked them and up they've gone into the air. There's some lapwing in amongst them as well, but you can get a better view of them now they've landed again. I think these might be some teal having a little afternoon siesta. Well, morning actually, because it's about 10:30 at the moment. But yeah, they're all asleep. There are some concrete steps all the way along this section, and that's what I sit on when I'm here in the summer filming the boats going past. Watch how the gull purposely flies into the lapwing as he goes past. Naughty, isn't he? Actually, watching this back, it might not be a gull, it might be another lapwing. I've only made it as far as the first gate along the pathway. And if I turn round and face the other way, you can see Breydon Bridge and Asda over in the distance. As you walk around, you get to see some of these interesting places. Obviously, it's the other side of the barrier, so I'm not going to go down there, but they do look very interesting. As the tide is out, you can see all the different channels across the mudflats. Across the estuary is another one of those places I said look interesting to have a little walk about, but of course I won't do that. Now look at all these shells either side of one of these channels where the water drains out. See, as I zoom out, you can see all the shells just in the mudflats there. So many of them. In my mind, I've got it that the little square brick building, which is a pumping station, I've decided that's halfway. Whether it is or not, I don't know, but that's what I've decided. And it's just come into view. It's over there to the left of the Black Mill. So that's how far I feel I'm going to walk to today. That's one of the mills on the opposite side of the estuary now. Over in the direction of Burney Arms Mill and the former pub that's over there. When I get closer, I'll show you. It's hard to know exactly how far you have walked, but luckily my phone will tell me, and I haven't even done 1.5 miles yet. I spot the next gate to go through, but from nowhere, the wind suddenly gets so much stronger, so strong in fact, that I was struggling to actually turn my camera to the right. The wind kept pushing me back the other way, or tried to. So, see, pushes me back. All I want to do is turn to the right to show you. And then with the wind, it starts to rain. And you can see over in the distance, that is the rain where it looks all dull and hazy. So I've just got a few spots. And there is the pumping station. I'm so close. Yeah, I can't risk getting my camera wet. So unfortunately, at that point, I decided the best thing to do would be to turn round and start walking back to the car park where I'd left my car. As you can see, the rain is heading straight for me over here. Look at that band of rain. Oh my goodness. With my back now to the wind and the rain, it's so much easier to walk. But I could hear this strange noise over in the distance. Couldn't see anything at all. So I was trying to work it out. And of course, when it's really windy, you think you're hearing voices and all sorts. But it's the train. So I'm not delulu after all. It was very odd because I could hear something, but with the noise from the wind, I just, I couldn't work out what it was. But here it is. There's the train, which is going to go into Great Yarmouth. Guess who's about to go past? The cyclist again. Luckily, I heard him. The rain came down heavier, so at this point, I just had to walk so fast to my car. And now it's day 2. It's Saturday, the day of the storm, when the storm is at its worst. Luckily, here in the east of England, we were very lucky and didn't get it like other parts of the country have. So, I've parked this time at Burgh Castle and I've walked down to the Anglesway footpath. This is where the avocets are today. There's several of them here, trying to shelter from the wind, which I don't think there is any shelter today from it. It is certainly at its worst. If I look behind me, I've the wonderful view of the sun setting across the water and the mudflats. And in front of me is glorious sunshine over the marshes. And just where the sky finishes and you see a green line, that's the bank I need to walk along. But I think I've already decided that I've walked up to a gate and that's where I'm going to stop today because it is just mad. I mean, I don't feel I'm going to be falling into the mud flats or anything like that. I do actually feel totally safe on this bank, but it's virtually impossible to keep my camera still to film anything for you. You've already seen how wobbly it was when I tried to film the avocets and the shovelers that were there. And now the shelduck. This is a huge piece of wood. I wonder if it's been washed up from this storm. As the mudflats are exposed by the outgoing tide, the birds fly in to try and find worms or crustaceans, whatever they can eat. Let me show you how close I am to the pumping station that I almost managed to walk to yesterday but had to abandon doing so because of the wind increasing suddenly and that torrential downpour that suddenly appeared from nowhere. So somebody else walking along the path, look. I'm almost at the pumping station. Just so hard to move when the wind is so strong. There it is, look. So how far do you think that is? Do you think that's another mile? I've already decided, though, that I'm staying put now. You know, it would be silly just to go to there just for the sake of it. I feel as though I've covered the walk. I'll come back in the summer, though, and do it properly. I don't actually feel as though I've failed to complete the walk. I think I'm just doing the right thing. I mean, I've so many different layers on today that I am not the least bit cold. There's glorious sunshine as well, which helps. It's just incredibly windy. I'm stood at one of the gateways and I'd literally just arrived here, walked along and arrived at the gateway, and I received a message from Jean. Do you remember Jean and Mike? They used to be on Thunder, one of the syndicate boats. She messages me and she says, be careful if you're out today. She knows me so well. She just knew I would be out in the storm. I just found that hilarious. So I assured her I was absolutely fine. Thank you, Jean, for being so lovely and caring for my well-being. At least you can see now where I was. I'll leave you with some of the photos I took yesterday and today. Mostly yesterday, actually. Today is just too windy to stand still to take a photo. I think I could even say it's impossible to take a photo today. Goodness knows who he is over there, or even where he is at. Or how did he get there? Because he wasn't walking along the bank. So yesterday I walked 7,505 steps, and today 4,611. Now, apologies, you're going to see several off sunset not quite that it goes dark, but as the sun begins to go down, it was changing every few seconds. So I did take 1 or 2 photos. How about you? Did you go out in the storm? Did you do anything daft like me? Let me know in the comments. As I was walking back, there were a couple of stone chats, seemed to be flying ahead of me. So as a female and a male. And eventually I got close enough that I could take them both together. How they can fly in this wind, I have no idea. I know they're low down towards the ground. Perhaps that's how they cope with it. But my goodness. Tiny birds, and yet they were absolutely fine. I thoroughly enjoyed doing this walk. I really did. It was wonderful to be out in the storm. It really was. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.